Hey traders, Nick Shaheen here looking at Palantir, one of my new favorite stocks. Let's take all the noise out of there. I say favorite because it trades nicely. I've noted a couple of different ranges. One of them is between 30 and change, and on the low side it was 24 and change. But inside of it, there was another trade going on for a few days, if not a couple of weeks. That was 25 and 28, give or take. And today is 1229, and they are testing the lower ends of the ranges, both of them, below 25, and the whole market is, I don't want to say correcting, it's only down 0.3% on the S&P, and we're treating it like the end of the world. The small caps are down 2%, so that's probably why the impression is. Also, the VIX is up like 8 or 9%. So something is going to give between now and the end of the day, which is an hour and a half away-ish, because usually an 8% appreciation in the VIX correlates with a down 1% at least in markets. And I know that the small caps are down 2% and change, but the rest aren't. So you can't say that the markets are scared when they're buying up BABA 6% and Netflix up 3% or 2% and other frothy names up big. These two scared markets don't typically do that. We'll see how they close the day. Anything I'm saying here has to trade within the prism of the entire market. And the range I showed you is that big white box. And we're at the tail end of the box. So from a trading perspective, forget the financial metrics of it, like fundamentals, price to earnings, price to sales, who likes it, who doesn't like it. This is not a place where I get out of my longs if I haven't. It's falling into support and a pivot. It's not a hard line in the sand where it's like absolute cement, but it's good enough for me to try a long. So if I'm not long and I just saw Palantir and I just saw how many fans it has, I wouldn't mind testing a few longs here. How do I do it? I can buy the shares if long-term commitment. I can buy some long-dated calls or call spreads in the money calls, and I'll sell calls against them right away to put them to work with the VIX high so high this week. A couple of days left in the year. Markets are closed on Friday, I believe, so it's literally 2 days. So that would be the easiest way to do it. Other people that know how to sell premium, they might want to sell puts to own it. Or sell a put spread to trade it, and then they wouldn't even need a rally to win. So if I sell a $22 put and collect some money for it, I'm basically reserving my price at 22. So if it goes down there, somebody might say, hey, you promised to buy my shares at 22, here they go. And then I'll buy them. So that would be my favorite way to do it. So I noted 22 because it's the other line in the sand. So if 24 fails, then 22-ish, give or take a few pennies, is a strong place I would add. So you can see the dashed orange lines. Those are my add places. I probably have one already that triggered. I haven't checked my email box. I've been pretty busy in the chat room today. Like the stock, I like the price action. It's falling into a nice place where I can probably start nibbling along. And it all depends on my time frame, of course. Nothing in here is a recommendation to do anything. This is me thinking out loud and sharing the lines that matter to me on a chart. Fundamentally, they are all about artificial intelligence and empowering people to make decisions on the fly. I haven't used their systems, but from what I've read is that they have almost like a parallel channel. One is for the government, one is for the commercial. And it's basically GUI interfaces. To allow me, if I own a business, if I tell them I have data from here and here and here, they put a skin on top of it so I can make decisions on the fly. So looking at the income, total revenue, 600 million, 750, almost a billion, trailing 12 months. So I like this. Let's see. Do we have any income? Net income. All right, so they're losing $1 billion. So it's costing them to get there, but there might be some shenanigans at the annual basis. So quarterly might be slightly more telling, but I don't have time to go through all of this. So statistics-wise, price to sales, I'm sensitive to that. 44 is definitely not cheap. What does that mean? It means that the owners of the stock, like I told you, they're strong fans. They're expecting a lot of it. So they want it to, in the future, to be a lot higher as far as revenues, because they're giving it 44 years worth of credit right now. This is the price to full year sales. So the stock price divided by the full year sales now. So a lot of growth is priced into it. I can't tell you anything about price to book because that's just a subjective number at this point, an accounting thing. So definitely not cheap. Definitely has room to fall from that perspective. Price action wise, here's what I'm going to tell you. If the markets don't crash, this one will be higher in the future. So it is a definite spot to nibble for me. And I am already long via debit call spreads. Like I said, way out in time, they're green. I've disclosed them in the prior video. I've sold several times put spreads in it, and they've worked out at 25. I'm tempted to sell another one here and see if it works out. So the put spreads I sell usually create risk right away, and if price stays above the level I sell, then I win. If I wanted to own shares outright, I would sell naked puts because they're lucrative and they accomplish what I want to do anyway. If I wanted to buy them now at face value at 24.78, why on earth would I not get paid to possibly own them at 22? And if it doesn't fall to 22, I made money out of thin air. So I don't do this unless I really want to own the shares. And it's a low enough price point that it's attainable to a lot of people to trade it. That's probably why it's so popular. I like the way it trades. I like what I hear about it. Oh, and I do like the company management. I watched a couple of their videos and it's like, wow, they're pretty impressive. Don't know if they're full of hot air or not, but they sounded pretty darn good and very well convicted in what they do.